Now we're rolling. Welcome to the Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason, my co-host. I mixed it up. My co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge. What up?
I don't like change.
You know, I was thinking last night after I took my nighttime meds that I want to change it up a little bit.
I don't like it.
All right, I'll keep it the same.
You gotta run this stuff by me, bro.
Hey,
now, you know what? Let's just cancel this.
Start back over again.
No, I'm out. We'll have to do it tomorrow.
We ruined it. We ruined the day.
You broke it.
Hey, before we start, I got to give a shout out to my wife. It's our anniversary today. Happy anniversary, babe. Love you. 4 years. 4 years married. The big 4 years. 6 years.
Congratulations, Cherie, for putting up with Jason for 4
putting
years.
Up with my shit for 4 years. No,
I hope I could put up with him for 4 years. See, making changes without talking to me. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No communication at all.
We both married up. So
I definitely outkicked my coverage on that
one. I mean, she's 4'11", but she married up. I'm just kidding, Cherie.
She'll say 5 foot, but I don't think so. No,
me either.
No,
get the tape measure. So. You know how it's like NBA players, they always round up an inch or two?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her.
Hey, my thing says 6 foot, so whatever.
5'11", 5'11 and a half, same thing.
I'm 5'11 3/4. I feel like that's fair enough to round up.
I mean, I say 5'10". I'm technically like 5'9 and a half or 5'9 3/4.
Yeah.
You really want to get technical.
That's like a good round up. Shoes on.
Round up.
Shoes on.
Round up. We're good.
Just some flip flops.
Dude, we had I don't want to talk about the fights yet though, because we forgot to talk about something on Friday.
Yeah.
We forgot to talk about Oscar De La Hoya and George St. Pierre possibly being a boxing match, and Dana White's like, no, he axed that real quick. Why do you think Dana White would have said that?
There's 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One, he's terrified that Oscar De La Hoya pieces up one of his debatable greatest of all time MMA fighters.
Yeah.
Because like you brought up when we talked about it, Dana will still admit Oscar was he was the man.
He was the man back then.
He was a killer, dude. He was a killer. Probably gave Floyd Mayweather his best fight while Floyd was in his prime.
Yeah, it's him or Marquez. Marquez gave him a pretty couple good fights. I think Marquez is the one he fought 2 times.
Yeah, but gave him a good fight.
Either way. He gave
one
him
of the rare that gave him a good fight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Oscar was, dude.
And it wasn't like he was past his prime during that time either.
No, he was the man. The other side of it is too, though, and I kind of think it leans more towards this side because Dana doesn't seem to respect Oscar that much anymore, and probably just assumes he's a coked out cross-dresser like the rest of us do, and like I do anyways, and just goes, I am not going to do a single thing that would be throwing this guy a bone to allow this guy make money. And he would make a lot of money off of a fight against GSP.
Oh, he would make a crap load of money. How do you see that? How would you see that going?
It depends. How much coke is Oscar on for the fight? Is he going to be high? Is he going to be sober? Is he going to take it serious? Like, you know what I mean? That's really what it comes down to. Because if Oscar is just sober for like 6 weeks and trains, he pieces him up.
It makes him look easy.
It makes it look easy. I mean, very Floyd Connor-esque, right? Where he just kind of probably carries him as long as he wants. And then, you know.
Here's the thing with those fights like that, though. Are they really fights or are they just WWE like names? You know what I mean? Like
I full-heartedly believe that the Paul brother and Askren fight was
that looked. Do you think that the Woodley fight next weekend is going to be any different?
That next weekend?
I think it's the 29th, isn't it? It's on Sunday again. I'm pretty sure it's on Sunday again.
I'm all in on Woodley.
I mean, do you think that it just seems like it's a little gimmicky to me?
Here's the thing. Ben Askren, I think when I look at Ben Askren, like he just like, I don't care. I'm not a boxer. Who cares if I get knocked out? I'm going to make $500,000. I don't think Woodley's taking that approach. I think Woodley's going to try and take his head off. I'm not saying he does, but like, I think he's at least good. Like let's put it this way. Woodley has enough pride. Like, I don't think he takes a fall.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting because then you got guys like who was it, Aldo, that came out and said he's not doing any of that stuff. If he can't fight in the cage, then what's he doing it for?
Jose Aldo said that.
Yeah, I saw something where he's like he's not interested in those type of fights.
That's because he's like a true mixed martial artist, like legend.
Yeah.
Side note: how like Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor all of a sudden super buddies?
That's
It's
Conor's
very
like
bizarre.
I don't know if it's the pain pills or what, but he is like off this rocker lately.
But the one person that's taking his side and sticking up for him is Jose Aldo.
What if they run it back?
Jose Aldo even said, he goes, I know we're never going to run it back. Like, I want him to be great. Is it because he's hoping that Conor can reclaim some of that so that his greatest moment isn't starching him in 13 seconds?
Maybe. I don't know. Why not get the payday?
Because Jose Aldo's 135 now and Conor 150, 170, 155, 170.
Who does Diaz fight this fall? Didn't Chael say he knows?
Yeah, he did.
And he won't say?
That might just be Chael being Chael, though.
Yeah. I think he does. I think he comes back and fights.
Jorge Masvidal.
I would love to see it. I don't think Jorge does it.
What?
I take that back. I think you could see him doing it because he said he only wants a fight that's going to get him to the title. Which, in my opinion, he needs to take the money fights versus.
He's probably not an elite welterweight.
I rewatched that fight Friday with Masvidal and him, and he just
pieced him up.
Yeah, he's just he's just not there.
But anyways, back to it. I don't know. Which way do you lean towards why Dana doesn't want GSP to fight?
The biggest reason, one, he doesn't want to see his boy get pieced up. He's not stupid. Like, how would that look if you're taking the face of the UFC, basically, arguably the face of the UFC as far as fighters, like pound per pound?
Probably the person with no controversy about PADs or anything surrounding him. GOAT.
I mean, he's arguably, a lot of people's GOAT. And to put him in there against Oscar De La Hoya, just not a very smart business move, I don't think. I mean, good for him, good for GSP, because I'm sure the money would be there, but I think, like you said, though, I think it's probably 50-50. It's probably he doesn't want to do business with De La Hoya, and then the other half is he doesn't want to see his boy get pieced up. Which is
he doesn't have to do business with De La Hoya. I just think he's like, it's like, the old adage. It's like, he's kind of doing the cock block thing. He's just being like,
yeah.
Oh, I have influence whether you can make a boatload of money. I'm going to go ahead and say nope.
And he hasn't stopped anybody else from doing that, has he?
No, he let Askren out. He let Askren out of his contract.
That's right.
So he was willing to do it for Ben Askren, but wasn't willing to do it for GSP.
I think it's just because of who it was.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
because there's a very real part of me that's like, yeah, GSP could beat him. Like if he's high and
freaking De La Hoya, dude.
I mean, he is cooked on cocaine constantly now.
How about freaking Manny taking the L on Saturday too?
And
Pac-Man,
that's a wrap.
Pac-Man,
that's a wrap, Doc. We text this as probably a good thing that Earl Spence
probably a good thing Spence couldn't make it because
Earl Spence would have murdered.
Yeah, I don't think that goes to a decision. That other guy was piecing him up too. I only caught a couple highlights because I was watching the UFC, but yeah,
it's sad. But dude, Pac-Man's all-time great. I like him a lot.
Should we break down this? Give our recap of UFC 34, which I saw a lot of people dogging on, saying it wasn't going to be a good card.
But this is the beauty of the UFC. On paper, yeah, there weren't a ton of names, but like the first 5 fights, either somebody got put to sleep or choked to sleep. Like first 5 fights, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was freaking great.
Probably not one of our best weeks of picks.
No, definitely not our best week of picks.
We struggled a little.
But oh well. Hey, you can't win them all. First up, we had Ramiz Brahimaj against Sasha Palatnikov.
We nailed that one.
Ramiz comes out, just dominated, took him to the ground.
And I even went back and forth on that one. I'm like, man, like I wanted to go with Sasha, but it was like, I just went with that.
I actually bet Ramiz earlier in the week this week, so that I had already locked it in, but I think I picked Sasha on the podcast.
Yeah, you went the other way.
Yeah, just to be different. Next up, we had Ignacio Bahamatas against Roosevelt Roberts. Woo! KO of the year or what? That
one of them
was a freaking wheel kick from out of this world at the buzzer.
And man, he
pretty much at the buzzer.
He pieced him up the whole time too.
But didn't Ignacio his last fight get pieced up pretty good too? Yeah, John Makdessi, I think, pieced him up pretty good too. Pretty
good kick. But I mean, you do like that. He was well on his way to cruising to, the 30-27 win, and then icing on the cake with a few seconds left. Wagga!
Oh,
night.
Nasty.
It's a good knockout.
Next up, we had William Knight and Fabio Saront. We looked good until we didn't look good.
No. Two things I will say about this. I'm not mad at this underdog pick. I'm still not, because I think Fabio was doing the right things. I think he just got caught with a lucky punch. And at 205,
was it even a punch?
Like it was like
it was like a half.
You kept calling him glass chin, but a lot.
I mean, I'm sure I would have. I'm not saying I wouldn't have folded over too. I'd probably still be knocked out.
I know that, but it's like it's just one of those, especially too, where he's coming in with his big overhand, and that little one just slides right in and just tink. And it's like, if that little tink shot is half a second slower or off by an inch, like we might have been right. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not as mad at that when you are picking, especially 205ers and heavyweights, there's always that possibility of like the smallest punch on the right part, just put somebody out.
I am,
here's number 2.
Rattle shots always do the trick. Yes, they do.
Here's the other part. Mr. William Knight did not seem to be totally USADA squeaky clean, shall we say.
He's freaking, dude, he is huge. He's a big dude, man. Maybe he needs a little Arimidex. Maybe the estrogen did look a little bit high. We'll just say that.
I'm not accusing, I'm not suggesting, but there's some things in his genetic makeup in his chest area that would make you suggest that quite possibly
the estrogen was very high.
The estrogen level is
estrogen very high.
Very suspect.
Which is really weird. And we touched on this a little bit last week on the PD things. There's just certain PDs that in my opinion, wouldn't translate over very well into MMA. Like, I mean, testosterone, I don't think it matters if somebody's on testosterone. That doesn't.
No.
Now, if you're taking a lot of it, which can cause side effects.
No.
TRT testosterone.
Yeah, but testosterone. But having the ability to recover quicker so you can work out harder more often, that's where
that's true.
Not in the actual like fight itself, like muscle and power, but but the recovery through the camp and feeling
that's
fresher,
important.
That's where the advantage is, right?
Yeah. He packs a lot of muscle, man.
Dude, he's 230 plus.
I think I'm done fading him until he gets up there with like when he starts cracking up there with some of the big boys. I like he did when he fought Ung Jung.
Yeah,
somebody that's just a natural light heavyweight, big, which Fabio I think was, but I don't think Fabio carries that same crack that some of those bigger guys, those bigger guys do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like his punches didn't have that pop to it to me, but he looked good until he didn't.
And but I think he was doing the right thing. He had William Knight going backwards a lot. And he's pretty inexperienced. He's pretty raw. He's newer. Like,
well, we took an L, and we're going to take another L in the next one too. Nunez against Malecki. I was way off on that one.
We were so off on this. Like,
I thought that size and the length would be the difference, and Nunez came out and just.
You know what it looked like to me? It looked like to me like Malecki didn't train that hard for the fight. I don't think
Which is crazy. Because she's training with killers.
I don't think she was like ready for like a dog fight like that. I think she thought she was going to walk through her.
I think so too. Yeah.
And Nunez is ready for a dog fight. And I don't care if you're the better fighter or not. If one person's ready for a dog fight and the other isn't, that person's most likely going to win.
Yeah. Yep.
And she didn't just like beat her. Like she like put her down.
Yeah. Well, I did pick the fight doesn't go the distance. I thought I had put it at Malecki wins inside the distance, but it was fight doesn't go the distance. So I had re-looked at my bet. I'm like, yes.
Cash that.
I ended up doing okay on that one.
Rather be lucky than good, right?
Yep. Brian Boom Kelleher next up against Domingo Pilardi. That was a fun fight.
Nailed
Kelleher
that
just
one, though.
Pretty much all over him.
Nailed that one. And what do you think about his call out of Sean O'Malley? Says, hey, you don't want to fight ranked guys. I'm not ranked. Fight me.
That's a good fight, I think.
I actually think that's a fight that, like, if O'Malley wins, might finally be like, okay, you at least beat like a good vet, like that's like not way past his prime, like Eddie Wayland was.
I mean, you get Kelleher he looked sharp, man. He looked good.
He's looked sharp for a while though. Like when he knocked out Hunter Azure, it was like, oh, that was. You remember, like it was kind of like, oh, he's like hitting a different level now.
Yeah. Austin Lingo and Luis Saldana, man. Yeah, you're probably right, Roman. Sean O'Malley, he already admitted, why take rank fights why fight the rank guys when he can just fight these lower guys and get paid the exact same? He's got the cheat code, man. Like you said, Zach, he's got the cheat code for the fight game, man.
Well, it's smart. Don't sit out, still get paid.
Yeah, please.
John Jones should be looking to fight guys that are below 7 in the heavyweight division, so he could just knock them all out.
Yeah.
So ready to give him what he wants.
Saldana and Lingo. Saldana came out on fire in that first round, looked sharp, and then
how'd that end for him?
Didn't look too well.
Wasn't good. Nope, wasn't good.
Yeah, Lingo. That pressure, his pressure, he was relentless, man. He was relentless. It's those guys that are like those like the Clay Guidas that we'll talk about here in a second that just keep coming and coming and coming. It's like, geez, man.
Well, nothing's worse than hitting somebody with what you feel like is your best shots, and they just keep walking you down. There's something that's like it's mental, but it physically drains you.
Shout out to Fierce Fighting Championship, August 28th. We're going to see 2 guys in the main event that are just like that.
Oh my gosh. Right?
Carson Hardman and Steven Seiler. Both guys could take shots and give them and are tough. And that's our main event this Saturday.
That's what we talked about with Carson. It's just like when 2 guys are known for their durability, like,
yeah,
buckle up.
Buckle up. I'm excited. Next up, we
picked Austin Lingo. So cash it. That's a good one.
Pantoja against Royval. We knew this was going to be a fun fight, and it was.
It was fun, and Royval even made me go, oh, because like I was so confident Pantoja was the better fighter. Like I really like Brandon Royval. I just don't think he's on that level yet. And he had him like that leg lock. He had him in trouble.
I kind of think he did too.
I really think that heel hook was closer than he'd like to let people believe. And then the nicest call out in the history of MMA after. He has 2 wins over Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
It's 2.
That's a fun fight. Pantoja's he's been on a tear. That was a fun.
I think Pantoja's, if anybody unseats Brandon Moreno right now, I think it's Pantoja.
Yeah. Agreed. Next up, we had Vince Pachell and Austin Hubbard. We actually took the young guy in this one, and the old guy came out and put it on him. It was a good fight, though. It was close.
It was close, but I thought Pachell won. Like, I mean, Pachell he looked incredible. Like, if he could start being a little bit more active, like, he looked really good. Doesn't fight like he's 37, 38. That's for sure.
No, he doesn't. And next fight up, we totally dropped the ball on this one. Romanov against Trevin Jones. We were both on Jones. I don't know why. I text you and I'm like, why are we betting against the guy's name ends in Nov? And we bet against him.
No,
and you're like, because he's on 4 days. He's like, he's on 4 days notice.
Because he was on the other side of the world 4 days ago.
Little Don Fry. Yeah.
And not knowing he was fighting in the UFC. And he flew over, cut weight, missed weight by 3 pounds, which I'm not totally mad at. Flying over, taking the fight on 4 days notice.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, he looked great.
He looked good. Like, that's a good win to come in there and get a win like that.
Beating some guys. So,
dude, that's his freaking UFC debut. And he comes on in on short notice like that and beats a guy that just beat that Mario Batista back in March of this year.
Yep.
Dude, shout out to him, man. Well, we're not betting against that guy again. And another one we got wrong. Parker Porter and Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman just, dude,
Chase Sherman, I will never pick or bet on him in the UFC ever again.
Those guys were throwing some leather. Those guys were throwing down.
I thought Parker Porter looked way better than Chase Sherman the whole fight. Chase Sherman, how you get to the level of the UFC, this is what I expect like me to do in the amateur level. Every time he threw his right hand, every time he threw that, his left one would come here and he'd throw that left from like down by his hip. And he'd get clobbered with the overhand right back. Every freaking time. Bro. Yeah. And he's been jumping around camps and stuff. It's like, dude, pick a camp, get your crap fixed, take 6 to 9 months off and just fix some stuff. Or else you're going to be out of the UFC really quick.
He was the biggest favorite on the card too.
Oh.
And he laid a dud. Yeah, exactly. That
pissed me off. I actually left the last minute of the third round and went to the bathroom because I was so pissed from watching Sherman.
Parker Porter has looked better each fight that since his I think it was Contender Series he was on.
I feel like he's been putting in work. And
he's been better. You can see that. Yeah.
It's really hard to take some of those big, I'm sorry, but just fat guys like serious, right? But it's like, but when you see that their technique's getting better and their game's getting better in areas, it's like, at least he's putting in work somewhere, right?
And he can crack and he can take a punch too.
And he looked way better going 3 rounds than Chase Sherman did. Like the looks could be deceiving. Chase Sherman looked physically to be in the better shape. Parker Porter was prepared for 3 rounds. Chase Sherman was not.
Yeah. Next up, we had split decision in Marco Matson and Clay Guido. What a fun fight, man. What a freaking fun fight. I don't agree with the 30-27 that was given out. I think it was pretty clear that Clay won that second round, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing. Did it change the outcome of the fight? Probably not.
Probably not.
Like you said.
I'm gonna go back. You can keep talking because I got to go pee.
Well, because I've said it, right? Like I just had a 5-round fight where the judges read off 50-45. I thought I for sure at least won 1 round. I thought a second round might have been close because I was attacking from the back and threatened more submissions off my back than damage that I took, even though he's on top, but like whatever. But at the end of the day, like if you lost the fight, it really doesn't matter what the scorecard, what rounds you win or lose. It really just matters if they got the winning fighter and the losing fighter correct. I thought Clay Guido actually made a pretty good case. I don't know. I got to wait for Jason to get back on this because we got to talk about the main event and this simultaneously because I'm not sure what I'm watching here. So, I mean, good fight. Mark Matson, congratulations. Great story. Kind of happy for him. But, I picked Clay Guido and I felt good about it. I thought Guido clearly won the second round. The momentum was going his way. Here's the thing. I don't really feel like Mark Matson did anything besides land a jab that was effective in that third round.
He kept landing it though.
But I think
Clay wasn't.
But I think Guido was I don't know. It just
go watch it again. Guido wasn't landing much in that third round, especially the first half, the first 2/3 of that round. he wasn't doing much. That jab was keeping him at bay pretty much that whole third round.
Okay, but basically what I was saying was is that, you know, he's I don't know. I don't think that Clay Guida got screwed, but I didn't think he won the fight going to the judge's decision.
It was a close fight.
It was close.
It was a close fight.
He looked really good, and but whoever gave him 30-27, I mean, that's when you got to look at something and be like, okay, we need to reevaluate something because thanks, Dutch. Because I just said about my fight, like I thought I clearly won the first round of my fight. I've rewatched it. I controlled the first.
Hunter didn't think so.
That's fine. He's 9 years old. His opinion doesn't matter.
His opinion doesn't matter, Hunter.
Not on my fights. But you know what I mean? Like I controlled everything, and I got swept with like 50 seconds left in the round. Didn't take any damage. So I controlled like the majority of the round. That's why I'm like, I figured I'd won that round, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm not dwelling on like who cares. Like I know I didn't win 3 of the rounds, so who cares? Yeah. But Guida, it's like he won the second round. I'm like, he should get credit for winning that second round because he looked phenomenal in that second round. And you know what? He's just a treasure. Like,
dude,
he's the man. And if you don't like Clay Guida, I get that you didn't win the fight, and that's fine. And I think, Mark, that's great. I'm not mad about it at all.
Yeah.
And I said I'm picking with my heart when I pick Clay Guida. But yeah, I hope he keeps fighting because it's super fun to watch.
When Team Alpha Male did the little skit with him with the American flag, doing the Hulk Hogan, I am a real American. I'm like, I'm changing my pick. I'm done. So cool. Like, I'm all in on Guida.
So cool.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a treasure, man. There's not too many guys like him.
He's so old.
He's almost 40 years. And
you know,
40 years old.
Doesn't complain about fighter pay. Doesn't complain about anything. He just wants to show up and fight and bounce around and just shake his hair and
fish. Him and Chad
fish.
Mendez do that fishing, whatever. I don't remember the name of it, but they do that fishing venture thing.
Yeah.
We should do that. We need to book a trip and go fishing with those guys.
Oh my god.
Chad Mendez, Clay Guida.
That would be so cool.
Record a podcast on the boat. Yeah.
Good idea.
We'll have to look into that.
We will have to look into that.
Next up was a main event, Jared Cannonier and Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin, did you see that? Did you catch that? Zach?
Oh, good job. You said his name right.
I almost I did it in my TikTok wrong. I said it on here wrong.
Kelvin Gastelum.
Kelvin, whatever. He's You know what? I'm glad Cannonier won that fight. Let's just put it that way.
How dare you?
Cannonier looked sharp. His striking looked, in my opinion, very sharp. His movement, they talked about it on the broadcast where he kept switching from orthodox to southpaw, smooth. I think it was Paul Felder was saying, he's like, I didn't even realize that he's switching stances. He does it so effortlessly. You have another good take on this one, don't you?
I don't know if it's a good take. I thought Kelvin was the more active fighter, and I get that punches like landed and stuff like that, but they're like those strike counts are unofficial, and the judges don't have access to them. It's just what they're seeing, right? And from my eyeball and my seat, yes, I get that Cannonier landed the harder shots throughout the fight. He definitely won the 2 rounds where he drops him, right? So that's again, not a robbery, but not the way I saw the fight.
I mean, it was 48-47.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, it's
not a robbery, but not, I actually think I had Kelvin 48-47. It was a close fight. It was a good fight, but it's just like Cannonier I felt like Cannonier just kind of stood there and waited for Kelvin to come in and then try to connect. And he did on a couple. Here's the other. Does Kelvin have the chin in the UFC?
Man, he got crap. What was it, the second or third round when he got dropped?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Does he not have like the chin in the UFC?
And he just bounced right back up like it was nothing.
And then I gave him a lot of credit for his fight IQ too, because he did that. And then he grabs Cannonier and puts him up against the cage and kind of holds him there for about 30 seconds. And then by the time that they broke, he was back fresh and like popping again. It's like, I think he was rocked. He did what he had to like shake the cobwebs out.
Yeah.
Once he felt okay, now I'll break. Here's the other thing. Sneaky advantage that Cannonier has against wrestlers or grapplers. He sweats so much.
He does.
Like that was incredible. I mean,
yeah, he sweats a lot, and he's strong. I mean, that's a guy that used to be fight at freaking heavyweight.
So strong.
That to me, that is the guy that I like. The guy that used to look like Gastelum, and now look at how he looks. Like he's taking things serious. I don't know why it bugs me so bad to see a guy that talented not take his nutrition seriously. It just irks me.
Yeah, well, it should.
I mean, it's got him obviously to the UFC, and you could arguably, what is he, a top 10 middleweight maybe right now? He's not top 5, right?
But I think he's a top 3 welterweight if he took his nutrition seriously.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. It's like
I know it frustrates me too.
Like, fuck,
man,
like come on, dude.
It's hard. I love Kelvin, and you know, I am a self-proclaimed Kelvin homer. Like he's one of my favorites. And I just think it's because he's kind of the underdog that always gets counted out. Gave Izzy's toughest fight in the UFC at 185. Like, and it's not even close. That was 2-2 going to the 5th round.
100%.
And Izzy's fought all these like big scary guys like Paulo Costa and all those guys, even Jan, and didn't really wear any damage. But against Kelvin, his face was messed up. Like Kelvin looked spectacular in that fight. Like, and you know, he's taken all these short notice fights too, which I think is commendable, right? That was supposed to be Paulo Costa in there with Jared Cannonier.
Yep.
And so he steps in, he fights anybody. I respect him. I like him. Everything about him is what I love about like a fighter and can get behind. Granite chin. He'll stand in the pocket and exchange with anybody. His cardio's never failed him. Which is very odd for somebody that obviously has some sort of discipline issue with his diet. So his issue isn't his work ethic. It's not, you know, you don't build up that type of cardio and be able to do what he does for 5 rounds the way that we've seen him do it a few times. You know, he's gone 5 rounds with Izzy, Robert Whitaker, and Jared Cannonier now, and nobody's put him away. That's crazy. He's never been knocked out. He's only been submitted. Somebody
put that little thing of, I mean, he's fought the who's who in that middle.
Me.
I mean, Jared Cannonier.
It was me.
Whitaker, Cannonier, Heinich, Hermanson, Till, Izzy, Swaza, Bisbeen, Weidman, Belfort, Tim Kennedy, Johnny Hendricks, Neil Magny, and he didn't win all these, but I'm just rattling them off. Nate Marquardt, Tyrone Woodley, Jake Ellenberger, Rick Story, Uriah Hall back on the Ultimate Fighter. He fought our boy Bubba McDaniel back on the Ultimate Fighter. Like
he's fought everybody.
He's fought
between 170 and 185. He's fought, and he's never had an easy fight. He's next,
and he's only 29. He's about ready to be 30. He's going to turn 30 in October.
He's still a kid.
He's still a freaking kid. He's still got a good 5-6 year run if he wanted to. It's like, dude, what?
I still wholeheartedly believe and solely believe if he got his nutrition under control and could healthily make 170, he's the biggest problem for Kamaru Usman right now. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
What do you see next for Cannonier? Do you think he's improved enough to match Izzy? I don't. No. But
Whitaker? Well, no, Whitaker Izzy's next, right?
Whitaker Izzy's next. I think that gap's too big. I mean, we saw what happened when he fought Whitaker in a stand-up fight. I mean, what are his ways to I know. What are his ways to victory? Knocking somebody out, right? He's not submitting any of these. He's not submitting a Izzy or Whitaker.
He's never submitted anybody, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Paulo. I'd like to see him fight. Jeff's just said Paulo. I'd like to see him fight Costa next. I think he beats Costa.
But guess what? Costa's sneakily walking himself into John Jones territory where the UFC is going to be like, cool, bye. We don't need you.
We don't need you, player.
You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
complaining about fighter pay. He keeps bringing up that he was drunk when he fought Izzy the first time, making excuses. It's just like, okay, dude, bye. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but we haven't seen him in like a year and nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I would like to see that next, Jeff. I'm with you on that.
I mean,
Cannonier
that's what I would like to see.
So
It's
is
so
Gastelum is Gastelum like the gatekeeper?
Here's the
185.
thing,
It's like, hey, if you could beat,
he's lost like 4 in a row.
He's 1 and 5 in his last 6.
That's
He's
tough.
lost 2 in a row. He beat Heinich.
Oh, that's right. He did beat Heinich.
But even before that, though, he got heel hooked by Hermanson. Okay, he got caught in that one.
He got caught. You know what?
Split decision against.
Let him run it back with Hermanson.
Split decision with Till.
Which Till won. Go rewatch that fight. Till won all 3 rounds.
Swaza split decision. He KO'd
Jacare Souza.
Yeah, he KO'd Disney in probably a freaking highlight of the year.
When Bisping had no business taking that fight on short notice, just coming off of a loss to GSP. Bisping's just that guy.
I'd like to see him run it back with Hermanson.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see him hire a nutritionist, but
that'd be cool. You should hit him up on
and be like, hey, bro, I'll help you for free.
You should hit him up. Say, come on our podcast. I'll do it for free. My co-host literally is your biggest supporter and advocate. He fights with everybody about how great he is, how great you are. Just come on.
Yeah. He's just, like Jeremy Stevens. Yeah, that's a
he
good point.
Is a
that's
larger version of Jeremy Stevens.
That's a great point, Jeff. Yeah, that's probably the best thing you've said in the year and a half we've been doing our podcast, Jeff.
I can almost give you credit for being halfway intelligent now.
We didn't get the invite, Dutch. We didn't get the invite, brother. Just like, no.
I probably would have been there.
Yeah. I mean,
but
if we get the invite, we're there, bro.
No. Last time Scott Bowler invited me to do the judges stuff training on Zoom. I was there for the whole phone call.
You were there for that. Yeah.
And it was
I think we got a recorded didn't we get a recorded version of that too? I think it was recorded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was Zoom. It was all the way in Cheyenne. Yeah, definitely not going up to Cheyenne.
I would
unless
road trip. Come on, Jason. We're road tripping.
In the new Escalade.
In the Escalade. Yeah, right. My wife's not letting me take the Escalade. We're road tripping in 2 weekends down to Vegas. Not Roman, to watch fights.
We're coming, Roman.
Fights, but I'm gonna watch BYU in Arizona and Jason. He's coming along for the ride to hang out with Aleko.
Yeah, it should be fun.
See Extreme Couture.
Hopefully we're gonna get over there and train with those guys down there.
It's gotta happen.
Well, you're gonna train. I'm gonna train too, but
no, you're gonna train. You're gonna get Francis Ngannou. Hey Francis, Jason thinks you suck and that Gain's gonna mop you.
Dude.
Bite down on that mouthpiece, Jason.
If you ever want to I don't know what I would do. If he came in there and was training the day we were there,
I'd start running my mouth immediately.
I'd be like,
Francis, Jason thinks you ain't crap.
And what could I say? What am I going to say?
I just start pulling up old clips. I'll pull clips for the podcast on YouTube.
Jason said you're going to get knocked out.
Jason says that Gain's going to sleep you, dude. And that you're scared to fight Derek Lewis.
No.
Yeah. I can get audio that says that makes it look like you said that.
Oh man, that'd be fun. It's gonna be a good time though. It's gonna be a good freaking time. What didn't we miss something? Oh man, what else did we miss? Did we miss something else?
Yeah, I actually had another question for you. Oh, John Jones, sneaky little tidbit. Do you hear Chael Sonnen say that he thinks John's retired? Actually, he might not have announced it yet, but
yeah, because he didn't renew his license or something.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
I think there's a 30 to 40% chance we just never see John again.
It wouldn't surprise me. What happens if you don't renew your license? You just renew it again, right?
Yeah. Not a big deal.
So it's that
doesn't mean anything.
I didn't think so, but
I mean, I'm pretty sure he could literally go get his license tomorrow to fight in Nevada.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
It's just chill being chill.
I'm okay with him not coming back. I mean, part of me, I do want to see him come back because I'd love to see him and Stipe. That's probably one of my top fights I'd want to see right now. Jon Jones and Stipe, the two GOATs of their respected divisions. You don't want to see it?
No, I do. I'm just afraid. I don't want to see Stipe lose again. And
you think he would lose? Motivated Jon Jones.
If Jon Jones is motivated, then I don't think anybody beats a motivated Jon Jones.
I don't know, man.
Well,
that would be good.
Besides Francis.
Yeah, Francis is getting scary good. I'm all in on Gain on that fight, but I did say for the record.
Here, can you say that again? I'm just going to record that.
You can save it because I'm going to say it again. I think he loses, but are you still recording? Are you recording?
I am.
Okay, so I think he loses the first fight, but I think when they run it back.
I just ended it. Nope. I just ended that, and that's all I'm sending to Francis.
I was going to say I should probably wear some like pads around my stomach in case he body shots me, but I don't think it'd matter. I don't think it mattered what I was wearing.
Oh no, dude!
Sit inside of an armored truck and just punch the side of the door. That's probably my only.
I still feel like you're going to be sore the next day.
I think so too.
From all the whiplash of it moving.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, so what would you like to see next from Kelvin?
I agree with you. I think running it back with the Hammer-Hansen just because of the way that fight ended, how quick it did. I don't really see.
You know what? If I was Dana, I would tell you know what I think I'd tell Kelvin? Love you. Appreciate you. You've always come through. You take short notice fights. Take 6 months and change your body and go to 170, please.
How big of a star if they started pushing him in like Mexico? Because he's Mexican, right?
He's from Yuma, Arizona.
But is he Mexican descent though?
Yeah, yeah.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, dude, he could be a huge star. He could be a huge star.
Him and Brandon Moreno.
Brandon Moreno's a good star. Maybe we'll run into Brandon while we're down there too.
That would be ideal. We run into all the guys that I support and love, and run into the guys that you pick against.
Hey, and I don't know if I could. I probably shouldn't say it on air. Never mind. I won't talk about it. Let's just say he's a freaking stud of a guy. Let's just say Brandon Moreno is a freaking, not just from what you see inside the cage and what he said. He's a freaking stud, man. Like I have the utmost respect for that guy now, just for what he's doing and helping out a friend. And he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, is that it? We got 3 Fighter Spotlight podcasts coming up. 2:00, we got Trevor Bradshaw. 2:30, hopefully, if Siler's done golfing, we're going to have Siler on. And then we will end it with Joel is going to come on at 3:00. There you go, Rico, which is a Mexican born in the USA. There you go. But you can't tell me you couldn't tell me they can't, they push him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Cherie loves Brandon. She's like, can you take a picture with him while you're down there? Yeah, he'd be huge. Anyways.
I really think that he gives.
Thanks, babe.
She's just saying that because it's your anniversary. And
yeah,
be nice. No, it's really for me. I think. It's like, Kelvin, please. And I'm sure he's sick of it because I know people have been hearing it. But it's like, dude, he missed weight at 186. He came in a quarter pound over and had to use the extra hour to come back and re-weigh in at 185. It's like, bro, you need to.
That means you didn't try. You didn't try.
There's no reason he shouldn't be walking around south of 190 to be able to make 170. But dude, the size of his back is ginormous.
How does he have that gas tank that he does?
I don't know. You know what I think? I actually think I fully believe this. There are a lot of Hispanic fighters, Mexican fighters. They just never get tired.
He doesn't.
Gene.
You think it's genetics?
Yeah, because I think he works hard. I think he trains hard. I just think he's lazy with his diet. He walked into One Hit MMA after the Ultimate Fighter looking for a new gym, and he went and traveled around the West and he walked in and he trained with Aldo. Do you know that? Him and Luke Barnett from that season of The Ultimate Fighter, they were both there, and they were looking for a place to train. And he even admitted, he told Aldo, he said, I could make 170 if I could just lay off cheeseburgers and taquitos, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, Bubba mentioned the same thing when he was on here. When they were on The Ultimate Fighter, he's like, everybody looked at him like, we're just going to roll this guy. He even did it. He said.
And then he choked him out.
Cardio and chins.
I'd like to chest your chin, Jeff.
Jeff. Heck yeah, man. All right. Well, I guess we can get out of here and get ready for the next podcast, unless you have something else to cover. Hey, one more thing. When are we going to record from the new office? Isn't our couch getting there soon this week?
Whenever you get here, dog, I'm here.
We got to get the camera.
We got to get the camera.
Got to get the camera.
Did you do your research?
Nope.
Well,
a little bit, but I haven't found exactly what we're looking for.
All right.
Next week. We'll be ready by next week.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 2:00. Stay tuned. Next 20 minutes or so, we'll be back live with Trevor Bradshaw. We out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Jay Sherman, you suck.
Jay Sherman.